Did you ever get tired of trading back today?
You know what? We had several guys that in that area that we liked, and so we just at positions of need. So we just kind of said let's add a few picks here to kind of just slide down, see who's still there, and a couple other people called, and we had one that we could have moved much further back. We didn't want to do that, but a couple small just to add. Arsenal doesn't mean we'll pick all those, but at least gives us some assets tomorrow. Knowing I didn't have a fourth, was trying to add some assets just to see how tomorrow falls. You never know how your board's going to look, and so wish we had the fourth. We don't, but we got some late ones, and we'll see how it plays out.
Brandon.
After getting those additional 6 round picks, possibly moving that to move up, is that something on the table?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We would, you never know how it's going to play out. I'm not saying we won't select all four of those, but probably not a great odds that we'd use all four.
Brandon, did that run on wide receivers again tonight impact anything for you guys?
No, not really. We just kind of followed the board, Sal, and ultimately, with the first selection with Cook, we feel like he's kind of like a wide receiver in his own way. Obviously we didn't get McKissick through that scenario in free agency, and this was a guy that really stood out to us with the ball in his hands. You can split him out. He can run routes, similar to a receiver. Obviously he's a good guy to hand the ball to in the backfield. So he'll have to learn a little more about the pro game protection-wise. That'll probably be he knows football, obviously, his brother, Dalvin, and he's football smart. Just that'll probably be the biggest hurdle that I see for him playing at this level, when he's not out, being able to protect if we got to max up the protection.
So you're protecting him not so much as a Devin first down, second down guy, but you maybe put the Duke Johnson.
Yeah, well, he would compete with as we see his best skill set as a sub back, but I think he can handle carries too if we want to give him some more carries. But we really liked his skill set again, similar to the one we saw, with McKissick, a guy that's got really good hands, very instinctive in the pass game. You can run all sorts of guys out in routes. It's not they can't do it, but some guys just have the feel like a slot receiver. It's the feel of what you're getting, whether to sit down in zone or run by your man. He's got speed, and if he gets a crease, you saw it. Watched a lot of Georgia football last year just because they were so good. Saw him play live twice. You can feel his speed with the ball in his hand.
Brandon, when it came to yesterday, you filled what might have been your most immediate need at cornerback. What was it like going into today's draft, especially with the moves that you made, to have? I'm not sure if it's the luxury of filling positional depth needs, and knowing these guys don't have to make that immediate impact at this point, and just that process and just the luxury of being able to do that and sit back and wait for the board to come back to you.
Yeah, I mean we definitely. Felt better after we got the corner last night. That you never know when there's going to be runs, and again the quarterbacks was the biggest variable. These guys are still just coming off. It's been, I don't remember a year like this where the quarterbacks are. There's no run. There's been no run on quarterbacks for as long as I can ever remember. They're just kind of here and there. So no, we just we liked some of our opportunities there at the bottom of two, just to keep adding. Again, we looked for opportunities with both picks to add a fourth back, and there was nothing ever that made sense for us to be able to do. So we added the 2-6, and ultimately, with our second pick, was excited to get Terrel.
Bernard, do you see him as a will linebacker?
So yes and no. He's played both at Baylor. For us, I'll let the coaches ultimately determine it, but he can play both, Mark. He can play inside or play out. He really could. super smart. He's going to be undersized. He's not going to be your prototype size. He's, if he's playing Mike, he's going to be opposite what Tremaine looks like inside. But we do think he can do both. We like his versatility. Super instinctive. You can blitz anybody, but he's got a feel for it, a knack for it. Similar to our safeties, the way they do. So he's a fun player to watch. If you're criticizing him, he's an undersized linebacker, but like his ability to match up in the pass game if he's at the will. So he'll just come in here and have to compete, and we'll see where his best fit. But my guess is maybe he bounces around a little bit.
Did he run 4.59? That was what it was reported at Baylor's Pro Day.
I'm not going to get into what he ran, but yeah, I don't remember exactly his number right here, but it wasn't anything bad. His longer speed is not there, but he's quick in the box. He's got short speed.
Obviously, you guys don't have a 4th round pick, so was this a situation where he was sticking out on your board? There was a level of urgency to get the player because of how much you liked him?
Yeah, we really liked him through the process. He was impressive. We had, Bobby Babbage has taken over at linebacker, and we sent Bobby out, as we did some other coaches, to work out some of these guys. And, Bobby kind of came back in and presented, and he was one of the guys that he felt really connected. This guy picked it up like that. Some guys, like, he's going to be able to learn it, but it's going to take some time. He's like, this guy will be teaching it to other people pretty quick. He's got it. I had Sean reach out to their head coach. We know Aranda a little bit. Leslie reached out as well, and Aranda could not say enough about this kid's leadership, his work ethic, his habits. He's an alpha leader of that defense, and couldn't say enough good things about him. And we've talked to Aranda before when he was had guys at LSU and now at Baylor. He will shoot you straight. He's not just giving you the company line. So we took that, and what he said matched, what Bobby got, and then obviously what we saw on the film.
What's your take, Brandon, on the quarterbacks not going up? And you mentioned it yesterday too, and now, and you alluded there that it's maybe puzzling or maybe messing with you a little bit. Maybe you thought some other players, but what do you make of it now that you've had a couple days to think about it?
Yeah, no one seems convicted, on guys, and it's like people are guessing, and then maybe all of a sudden one goes, and maybe someone else goes, well, that wasn't my guy anyway. I'll relax, and they're probably looking at teams. They don't need a quarterback. They don't need a quarterback. They don't need a quarter. You know what I mean? They start counting. As you move down, you start looking. When you're looking at positions, all right. If you're looking, at James Cook, you're going, all right. They don't need a running back. They don't need a running. We got time. We can move down. We can. Now, the one thing you don't know, which I was obviously concerned about last night, is a trade up can happen. But that's probably we didn't do any investigation in these quarterbacks, so I really don't know them other than when I saw them live or some of the tape we watched on them.
How does that alter your rhythm? Like when, usually there's a rhythm to how the picks are going, and you almost count on quarterbacks to go because. So how does that alter your rhythm when it comes to knowing, because it's almost foreign territory?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't go last night. We were hopeful. We kind of didn't suspect many to go, but I thought more than one, but thought today, in the second round there would maybe be a little run. One goes, the next one goes, and it's still, it was interesting. I don't know that it messed up our rhythm or anything. You just kind of follow the board and see if there's a run. There was a little mini run on receivers there for a minute, but for the most part, it's just kind of bounced around. There's especially today. Yesterday there were runs on positions, but today it's been more of a hodgepodge.
Brandon, you touched on it last night a little bit with Kyer. An SEC guy, you go with Cook, another SEC guy. It's a little, I don't want to say easier because it's probably not the right word, but how is it to see how they'll translate, their talent to the next level?
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going. That's the closest thing to our level. Pro scouting, we have pro scouts, we have college scouts. College scouting takes takes a lot more looking. You're grading the traits. You're trying, if this kid's not playing a high level of competition, Spencer Brown, he's at Northern Iowa. You're trying to project how would Spencer Brown be at Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama, one of these big schools. How is he going to measure up? What are the things he has? What is going to be his deficiencies? And the one thing you can't change is the competition level. And so you're trying to project. When you're pro scouting, you're seeing that player go against elite guys. And so the SEC, for the most part, at most positions, seems to be more stacked. And so it is the closest one to our league to be able to project, most times. So with Kyer, and then again today with James, we obviously watch Georgia, all of us that follow college football. He made some really big plays, including in that national championship game against Alabama. So you see it translate. And again, Terrence Gray was in Minnesota around his brother a little bit, Dalvin, and so we kind of just got a feel for him and brought him in here on a 30 visit as well. Skip went down there and worked him out also, and just he passed every test, and we thought he'd be a great fit, for Josh, a guy that, we talk about rack, and we talk about it a lot of times with receivers more than running backs, but this guy is a rack player for Josh, get the ball in his hands and make a guy miss, and then, he's got the wheels to take it all the way.
You mentioned rack right there.
Is that something you felt like this team was missing a little bit last year as far as getting after the catch?
Yeah, same thing. We don't want to have, 9, 10, 11 play. We like that at times to control the game, but sometimes you want that quick score or that chunk play. And that's probably, if you're going to pick on our offense a little bit, that's probably one of the things you could pick on is some chunk rack plays, get it in somebody's hand, a receiver, a running back, tight end, whatever it is. And that was an area, especially from the running back position, that we thought we could improve. And again, I mentioned we targeted McKissick. That didn't work. This guy, we think, fits that mold.
How have your experience, in drafting in the later rounds, helped design, this year's approach?
The later rounds, like at the bottom of each round?
Yes.
Okay. You have to be patient, which I'm not, Mookie, and that's what, you're still trying to identify guys that will fit you, and you try and put them in spots that you think fit their value. And again, like last night, if you're feeling, a need, one of your top needs, that's when, you sleep good at night, you go make that move and get that guy, and don't risk someone else taking them. And so again, today, to Warro's point earlier, we just said, let's let the board come to us. Let's see what's there. And if there's one guy there alone, let's take him. If we've got several guys in the area, then we'll look for opportunities to move back. Again, we were hopeful that we could add another 4, but it just didn't work.
Brandon, look at where you guys picked in the second and third round, maybe some interior offensive line options. I'm curious, A, did that come into play at all, thinking about maybe some of those guys, and how much faith do you still have in Cody Ford as not only somebody that can compete for a starting job, but as a depth role inside?
Yeah, that's definitely a position, we want to be strong in the trenches. So we've followed that yesterday and again today. We'll follow it again tomorrow. We'll see how it falls. But definitely still believe in Cody. I think he's had a focused offseason by all accounts and he knows, listen, it's a contract year for him. He knows what's on the line. It's pretty simple, that he's got to come in here, and this is the first year he hasn't had a surgery. He had a major one after his rookie year. He had 2 after his second year. This year, he that sets you back a little bit, in fairness to him. Now, there's some things he can control that he's got to do better, but we had a good conversation with Cody at the end of the season. It's going to be a fresh start. He's got a new O-line coach, and so I know Coach Cromer is excited to work with him, and I think Cody, I believe in Cody. I still think he'll try and take advantage of his opportunity. Nothing's going to be given. He's going to have to come in here and earn it. But we see him being a big part of what we're doing, this season.
Spending so much draft. Go ahead,
differences
Phil.
and maybe mixing up coverages by drafting Kyrie. Maybe gives Leslie more options, I think is the way you put it. Is that even what Bernard does a little bit? Because if you want, like, you could maybe play a base package with a guy who can cover a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited to get him in here and see what he can do. You know, we obviously, due to cap reasons, had to let A.J. Klein go. You know, this guy, you know, A.J., the great thing about A.J. doesn't need a lot of reps. He can go in and play. If Tremaine went out, he can go in and play there with probably hardly any reps. If Matt went out, he could go do that, whatever we need him to do. He's obviously not a matchup space player like Matt is, but he's so instinctive. He figures it out and overcomes it. Terrel is, you know, he's going to be a rookie, but he's athletic and again, he's versatile in the sense that we think he can play inside and out for us. You know, we'll see. We think we got some good competition. Tyrell Dodson and some of these other guys are not just going to give that up. But he's such a smart, instinctive player. Those guys, they're hard to keep off the field.
Going relatively big and relaying your philosophy about size mattering in the draft. The previous 3 years, is it kind of like boring to be having some smaller guys added in the draft to you? Do you feel like you're needing to get some 6'6", 280 pounders, something like that?
You know, you'd love to draw them all up to be prototype size, length, speed, all that. But, you know, ultimately, John, you know, it's about playing football. And so that trumps a guy with size that doesn't have it, you know, a guy with size that if he lacks instincts or lacks some other things. So, again, Terrell, that's why Terrell was available. If he had the ideal prototype size, he is an instinctive football player, and that's why he's available here. We believe that the traits that he has as smart, tough, dependable, loves ball, all that good stuff, we believe that's why he was so successful at Baylor and what gives him a chance here to be successful.
Generally, as you enter day 3, where's the value at this point in your mind? Are there any positions that there's still some good depth at that, you know, we could see runs on tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still positions that are, you know, we don't have a fourth, so that's going to be a long wait to see where it goes. So I don't have a great feel, Matt, how it just there's so many, you know, you're getting into the compensatory picks now. I'm not even sure what's come off since I've been down here, but it'll be, you know, we're not at the top of 5 either, so it's going to be a little bit of a wait, and we'll just have to see what's there.
What's your take on Kyle Brandt announcing his 89th pick in that chicken?
That was entertaining. It was like a WWE intro or something. It was I give him props though. I think he had everyone's attention in Vegas. He had our draft room's attention. We thought it was pretty interesting. I had forgot he was doing it until they started the intro. But
What are your thoughts on where the Jets have gone?
yeah, I think they've done a really good job. You know, they came in. This is the second year of the returns from the Jamal Adams trade, and you know, Joe Douglas and his staff, you know, do a great job. They've been trying to get this thing turned around, and I think they got a good coaching staff, and so yeah, they're going to be tough to deal with. 3 first-round picks is fun. It's exciting, you know, if you have those. And so I'm sure they're excited about that. Pick 4, 10, and I know they traded in to get the pass rusher last night, and got Breece Hall today, and I'm not sure if they got anybody else. I can't remember, but yeah, no, Joe and his staff do a great job, and they've had a good offseason, and you know, year 2 of their rookie quarterback, they're giving them some weapons. So the division is definitely getting tougher. You know, Miami obviously adds Tyreek Hill, you know, and some other players, you know, the offensive tackle, and new coach. So we'll have to figure out all the things they do. And, you know, New England's going to be tough as well. Mac Jones in year 2, and, you know, how that works. So the division is definitely going to be tougher, and we got our work cut out for us.
I know you care about the whole person. You care about the DNA, the culture of that. One thing that sticks out about Kyer and Terrell especially is academically, they really excel as well in the classroom. I mean, talk about all-American, academic, all-conference, things like that. I know you're not trying to win the Trivial Pursuit Bowl, but how much does that matter to you when you take into account these guys and what they can do?
Yeah, I mean, guys that are doing that generally, they're super competitive. They're not just trying to fly by school, do what I can, get a tutor to help me out. They're competitive in everything they do, and they're competitive at practice. They're competitive. Those are the guys in the meeting rooms that are competitive. They're trying to catch the coach, drawing up something wrong or whatever. He's going, no, coach, it should be this, and you love that. Guys that just want to be great in whatever they do, whether they're playing chess, whether they're in the classroom, or whether they're on the football field. So it speaks to their character and their values. And, obviously they got to be good football players, but that's a plus when the character adds to what they are as a player.
I was disappointed the playbook wasn't on the plane. What do you make of that? I mean, what do you make of that?
Yeah, we wanted to enjoy it. Take your time, and it was great to get his family up here. We had obviously met Kyer through the process, but great to meet mom and dad and brother, and so excited. He seems very excited, and good opportunity for him.
It could go two ways when you have
A parent who's big in the NFL. I mean, it doesn't always guarantee that the pedigree is going to, but he seems motivated and wanting to do better than his father, and his father really pushed him through that. That motivation, could you sense that? I mean,
Yeah.
Just what is it about it that he has that he can manifest it into motivation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he started playing football till he was like 8th grade or something maybe, and really pushed his dad that he wanted to play. And at that point, his dad's like, all right, sounds like this is what it's going to take. If you're in, you're all in. And, his dad wasn't a highly drafted player or anything like that. And he had to work for everything. I'm sure he had a chip on his shoulder when he played. And I think he probably has coached and taught Kyer, like, you got to come out and earn it every day. And he's got that. He probably innately took some from his dad, and then watching his dad, he's learned from the good and the bad of the league, and from his uncle as well. And he comes in very knowledgeable for a rookie of how this works, and I think that'll help his transition.
On that note, I was just curious, you're obviously he's a rookie, has a contract still and all that, but him not having an agent, does that change anything? Like your approach, even the process leading up, like how does that impact you?
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll figure that out. He'll, assuming he doesn't end up with an agent. I know his dad has advised others, and I assume that will be the process. We haven't really got into detail, but it'll be fine. I'm sure the guys that don't have an agent, they also lean on the union a little bit to help. And the rookie deals aren't very complicated, so it would probably be more complicated on a second deal. How early is too early? Depends on how good he is. Yeah, I mean, it really does. So, we have to see, who's on the board tomorrow, and if like any position, if there's one that we think is worth drafting, obviously we don't have a 4th, but if there's one worth drafting in the 5th, we'd see what position players are there, and if he was worth it, we'd do it. If not, then we got 4 6th right now. So if there's one worthy, but we'll make sure compare that to what position players are available.
Is this a good year to move on in the draft?
I think there's some guys. I do, and I think there's some guys after the draft too. There's always, you look around, there's always punters that don't get drafted that end up making it. So I don't think it's a must to draft one, but I do think there will be some drafted. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.